Hello, this is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you a card that I actually made for my daughter for her first day of high school. And I'm going to be using the My Favorite Things All About You stamp and die set. The dies are actually the U Trio. And I'm also going to be using the My Favorite Things Bold Stripes die. So I'm going to be using some Distress Oxide inks to do the card. And the first thing that I'm going to work on is the Bold Stripes die. So I'm going to do a rainbow color. So I'm going to use picked raspberry, spiced marmalade, wild honey, cracked pistachio, peacock feathers, and wilted violet. So those are the colors that I'm going to use. So as I'm putting the colors on, I'm going to take the Bold Stripes and just kind of lay it over top of my paper, and I am using the Bristol Smooth cardstock for this. And you'll notice that when I lay the next color, I go back to the previous color just to kind of smooth that line out a little bit. So I'm going through each one and I'm just checking, and the wild honey actually ended up going over a little bit into where I was going to put the cracked pistachio, but I just went ahead and laid that cracked pistachio right on top of it. So I'm laying my peacock feathers, and then the last one is the wilted violet, and I am going to spray this with my water, my distress sprayer, to give it that distressed look, which really makes it so unique and kind of gives it a lot of texture just by spraying the water, which is awesome. Now I did get a little bit more water than I wanted in the cracked pistachio area and the wilted violet, so all I did was went back in, added some more Distress Oxide inks, and sprayed it again. So this die is really neat. It's unique that once you die cut it, the little strips come out. So there's a lot of things you can do with this die. You can actually die cut it 7 times, and then do different colors on each one, or you could die cut it one color and do the frame another color. Really universal die. So what I did is I took the peacock feathers and I used it to create a border. So all of those little peacock feather strips that I have there, I can save those and insert those into another frame for another card. So I decided I wanted to distress it. I didn't at first before I cut it out, but then I decided I wanted to go ahead and so everything would match up. So I've got my frame cut out, and now I'm going to put it onto my card base. And for my card base, I actually used a piece of cardstock that came with a Hero Arts kit. It kind of has a little bit of an iridescent to it. I am using my Nuvo glue and putting everything down, and then all I'm going to do is take my Nuvo glue and glue each strip in rainbow order. Simple as can be. This is a really great die. Like I said, there's so much you can do with it. You can change the colors out. You can do it in Christmas colors at Christmas, Halloween. There's just so much stuff you can do with this die. So now I'm going to take the U Trio, and I die cut the U on the right hand side 4 times out of black licorice cardstock from Lawn Fawn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue each of them together using my Nuvo glue pen. And what this is going to do for you is it's going to create dimension without having to use foam tape or fun foam that you die cut. It's an easy way to get dimension, and you can die cut as many as you want. I happen to do 4 here. If you wanted it to be thicker, you could do 5 or 6, 7, however many you wanted. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little bit of shine just by adding some clear heat embossing powder. So I'm going to take my Versamark watermark pad, and I'm just going to do it on the whole thing, the whole word. There's no need to use your powder tool because you want embossing powder on the entire word. I am going to use my tweezers to pick it up, but then you'll see that I'll eventually just be able to just kind of drop it down into the powder. And I'm going to do this twice. Generally, I would do it probably 3, maybe 4 times to get the shine that I want, but you're going to see when I put the embossing powder on it the second time, it got on there pretty thick. So instead of knocking some of it off, I just decided to go ahead and emboss what was there because it was on there thick evenly. And so that way it just kind of cut down the number of times I had to do it. which is what you're about to see here in a moment. This is a great technique to use. It's very simple. You can do this with any color die you have that you've cut out, and it's an easy way to add that shine instead of going back in and adding some glossy accents, things like that. This is a great way to do it. So you can see how it's already shining up there in the corner. And it's a great way to take a flat matte cardstock and give it a glossy look. So I'm going to put that on the front of the card, but the first thing I'm going to do is I want to go in and stamp the rest of my sentiment on the front. So the front of the card is the stamp that's going to be on the front of the card is "Today is all about," and then it'll have the black U at the bottom of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my Tim Holtz stamp platform here, and I'm going to stamp that out, and I'm going to use it in the black Hero Arts ink, and I'm just going to put some clear embossing powder on it so it has some shine to match the shine in the U. The Distress Oxide background that I'm using here, even though I've sprayed the water on it, it's a pretty flat matte color. It doesn't have any shine to it really. So I wanted to make sure that the "Today is all about" and the U had a little bit of shine, just to kind of make it pop off of this pretty flat card. So I'm going to add, this is Wow clear embossing powder, the same thing I used when I did the die cut. And I'm going to use the Ranger Multi-Medium Matte to put this on. You want to make sure you have some type of strong adhesive, just because that is kind of thick because you've put so many die cut pieces together. And I decided I wanted to put the sentiment "I love you," which also comes from this All About You stamp set. I really like this stamp set. It's really versatile, and stamp sets can be expensive, and so I liked ones that you can use for multiple cards, and this is definitely one of them. So I'm actually going to heat emboss this with pink Ranger heat embossing powder. It's a really pretty, almost like a baby pink color that tied in with the picked raspberry on the front. And there we go. That's our card. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, please don't forget to leave them below. Check out my blog, and where I have a list of all of the products that I used in this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and definitely if you don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you later. Have a great day.